favorite field. What do you want to talk about today?
Lemons?
Nope. Try again.
We're very citrusy today. Making lemonade out of lemons?
That was last year's market.
Oh, what are we talking about?
2013. How about staging your home?
Oh!
Right?
That's why we have fake fruit.
Plastic lemons. Okay. Not appropriate for every situation. But
No.
The thought remains that even though you may have heard it's a super smoking hot seller's market,
Which it is.
It is. Definitely is. Do you still need to stage your home?
Heck, yeah.
Why? You take the buyers out in the field.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time with the buyers in the churches. And I think that the biggest thing that happens is when you first walk into a house, like the feeling people have is really important. And eliciting that feeling, it doesn't just happen naturally.
Not just the feeling.
Oh yeah, there's also the smell.
The whole sensory experience.
The whole sensory experience.
Right?
It's calculated. Let's treat this like you're a lady with a big date. What are you
Okay.
going to do, right? You're going to make sure your clothes are nice. You're going to make sure you're smelling good. You're going to put your best face forward. And, hopefully if you're a dude, you're going to do the same thing. And you're not going to be, grossy and, massive, smelly Axe body spray.
So let's talk Axe body spray. What's the real estate equivalent is those Glade plug-ins that you put all over your
Strong
house
smelling.
that smell like hot cinnamon tea or whatever. Please don't do that.
Yeah, and if you're using those to cover up, dog smell or cat smell, what you're really doing is emphasizing the dog smell.
And this
the cat
is
smell.
like one of those frequently mentioned things that you see over and over again in preparing your home for market.
Yeah,
but
people always
still
say
do it.
Yeah, well, but at the same time, I see advice, and they're telling people,
Oh,
you
good
know.
smells.
Yeah, exactly, put some cookies in the
Okay,
oven.
but the cookie thing,
It's true. I do love cookies.
let's be fair, it works.
Cookies do work.
I don't-
You don't know what your house smells like.
Oh, that's a good reminder.
I don't mean to say that in a harsh way. I don't know what my house smells like. I have 2 cats, and
Do you want me to tell you what your house smells like?
you've never been in my house, Jones.
So some of us have more sensitive sniffers than others. For instance, I have a nose for cigarette smoke. So I can walk into a property, I think I'm semi-allergic, but I can walk into a house and definitely tell you if somebody's been smoking in there. So I'm hypersensitive to that.
I don't have a sense of smell, at all. I think I've found my clients the perfect house, and I'm like, check it out. And they're like, but it smells like cat pee real bad. And I can't smell it. But if I can smell something,
That's
there
a
is
bad
a
sign.
serious problem. That said, it's always a little awkward to go to somebody's house and talk about how to get it ready to sell, and it smells bad. So,
But let's be honest here. And just in case you're mistaken, it is our job to tackle the awkward things.
it is. And so we ask, with all humility, that you be ready to receive
Yes.
and handle it. And it's not anything personal. And our houses smell like us, and it's not really that big of a deal in a day-to-day way. It just things smell how they smell. But when you're gonna sell, if your house smells like a dog or a cat or
A baby's butt.
a baby's booty, or perhaps a very strange spicy cooking smell, this is going to cost you money. So it's not like we're saying that because we're judgy. It's because we want you to make a lot of money when you sell your house.
And it's because when you bring your buyer clients in, it's no longer your house. They
Yep.
need to envision it as their house. So if
You
they
gotta
don't-
sell a fantasy. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about some of we know about smells. We know about making it clean and spare and nice.
About taking down your family pictures
Definitely take those down.
from 1972. Take those down, please.
Yes, this is not the time to display your doll collection.
Oh, that's another very common, but good one. And those are hard conversations that we get paid to have as realtors, in my opinion.
Right.
So,
What are some of the more maybe less obvious things that people can do to stage their house to get the most money?
well, say your realtor doesn't hold your feet to the fire on things like the doll collection, which they really should. Other items, busyness. So when you're looking around the house, it may not seem cluttered to you because things are put away and they have a place, but you have to look at it through the lens of the camera.
Mm.
So we know that most of the buyers start their search online now. They're going to be looking at your photos, and if they find those compelling enough, they're going to come and visit your house. So you've got to see it through the eye of a camera, and you've got to look at the fact that if there's stuff all over the walls, however neatly it may be arranged, unless it's really well executed, it's very distracting. You want them to see the new counters that you put in or what great condition the house is in. You don't want them to be looking all over the place.
I think what it is you want them to be able to see themselves in your house. I think sometimes, and I'm proud of my house, and I'm proud of the things that I put out in the house, but when you're going to sell the house, you need to take as much of you out of it as possible, because you don't want the buyers laughing about your 1985 family portrait with the crazy berries. You want and the big glasses. You want the buyers looking at, oh, this is where our couch would go, and oh, this is where Fluffy's litter box is going to go. Like, you don't want them thinking about what's happening in your house right now. You want them to put themselves into it.
So the best way to do that when I'm working with the seller before we get listed is to take everything non-essential out of the house. And that may seem extreme to you, but you just need to trust me on
And
this.
Anne's version of non-essential might be a little different.
No. I mean, I'd never sell my house the way I'm living in it currently. I have 2 kids. I understand that it's hard. So I would take all of the non-essential items, I would rent a storage unit, and I would pack them up, because this is going to make you money, and get those things out, and then only bring back in, really intentional items. So you're going to decorate like you first moved into the house. You might need 2
Plastic lemons in a bowl.
This may not work for everyone, but that accent wall that you painted a couple years ago in persimmon or whatever the color of the moment was.
Blood red.
Yes, we need to neutralize that because it's going to suck all the light out of the room when you're taking pictures.
And it might clash with my couch.
Yes.
And I might not be able to get my head away from the fact that that wall is going to clash
And
with
even
my
though
couch.
it's only a gallon of paint and probably a gallon of primer, and that's what you're telling yourself, well, the buyer, don't worry about it. You know what? You've got to make it easy for them, even though it's a seller's market, because they will pay more right out of the gate for your house if it's ready to go. So that's a couple of things. What are some of the other common ones? The obvious stuff is the new linens. For God's sakes, do not hang up your bleach-stained, ratty towels in your bathroom, or leave your...
That's not selling the dream.
No, it's not. Another example of that, hairbrushes, toothbrushes, bathrobes hanging on the back of the door that make it all intimate in your place.
It's hard for buyers, especially first-time buyers, to be in somebody else's house. I mean, I could be in other people's house in, any condition. I don't even see anything
Right.
but the walls and the floors anymore. But buyers feel really weird about being in your house. So you want to make it seem as hotel-like and blank and about them as possible.
So if you have not already gone online and discovered Pinterest, because you've been living under a rock somewhere, get on Pinterest.
Or your boy.
I know dudes on Pinterest. There's
no judgment.
There's a few. So get on Pinterest, start a board. I've even started boards for some clients occasionally with ideas and inspiration. If you have an iPad, find the House app, Houzz. It's incredible, and start saving images just for inspiration. If you need help picking colors, ask your agent potentially. But
if your agent has taste. If your agent's like Ann Jones, ask your agent.
Copy. If all else fails, take the West Elm catalog that came in the mail and copy something out of there that you like, that's current and trendy. And it doesn't have to be super expensive, but that is money really well spent.
I think, they always talk about, the things you get the most value out of when you're going to sell a house. It's weird when we go to people's houses and they say, oh, well, we're going to do all these big changes to the house before we sell it. And most of the time, you don't need a huge kitchen remodel. You don't need a huge bathroom remodel. Because you're just going to do it the way you want it, and it might not be the way the buyer wants it. But what you can do is have a fresh coat of paint, have a clean. Good smelling house, without too much stuff around, without any distracting Big Bang family pictures.
Bleach, that's my #1 staging recommendation. Good Lord, people. Bleach your grout.
Or if you're chemical conscious,
I'm sorry.
Perhaps some lemon.
That could be another option. But seriously, clean, tidy, and current.
Do it.
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.